Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. It's another beautiful day. Check this out. Sun coming up over the ridges in Kentucky. Gorgeous morning. It is just a bit frosty out, but it's supposed to warm up into a pretty nice day. I just came down here. I'm gonna get this machine fired up so it can warm up real quick, and I'll show you what we're getting into. Oh yeah, it's a frozen kind of morning. No kidding. There she goes. Jerry had this machine last, and look at it in here. He yelled at me when I picked it up because I had muddy boots on and I already made footprints in it. We'll let that warm up for just a little bit. Let me show you what we're getting into. We are on the family farm down here. You can see there's several grain bins. There's a water tank right there for spray operations. There's a meter base there which will come into play, and a well pump house which will come into play in just a second. And you can see there's a propane tank. You guys see that propane tank? Right in there. And there's a copper line laying on top of the ground, feeding the dryer right here. Now the goal today is to get that copper line in a more secure location, preferably underground. Everything should go pretty smooth around this side of the bin. Probably not since I said that now, but we've definitely got some tricky stuff to work with over here. A little closer view for you. Propane tank, meter base, pump house, frost hydrant. Somewhere there's a water line that runs from that frost hydrant into that pump house. Somewhere there's an electric line that runs from that meter base over to that grain bin. We're not entirely sure exactly where it's at or exactly how deep it is. All we know is it's somewhere in this area. So it's gonna get a little tricky, it's gonna get a little fun. And after we get all that done, we're going to do a contract haul later this afternoon and go pick up an excavator. It's not one of Mike's excavators. It's actually the guy that does all the trucking, the stone trucking for Mike. He owns a couple triaxles. He's got an excavator rented and needs that moved, so we're going to go do that later. That's more of a reference for me than it is anything. We got the gas line disconnected, shoved up out of the hill, good enough to be out of the way for where we're gonna dig. This stuff is really flexible. If you've never worked with it, it's very, very flexible, and you do have to be careful when you're moving around so you don't kink it, because then you'll ruin the line and you'll have to cut and splice that. But no issues getting that out of the way. We'll get that bucket switched over. Fingers just don't like to work when it's cold out. Oh, come on now. There we go. Okay. All right, so here's what I'm talking about. You guys hear the pitch of the engine right now? You hear how it instantly sounds like it's under load? Pretty sure it has something to do with this switch. This is supposed to be my blade angle. I'm not getting anything. Blade control works up and down. I think there's something wrong with that switch, and I honestly don't know what to do about that. I'm not sure if it has a fuse just for that I can just disconnect to get through the day or what. Give me just a minute to do a little problem solving. So I gave Mike a call real quick and said, well, I explained the thing. It idles great, like normally. Safety bar up, as soon as you put it down, sounds like it's under load, and the only thing that doesn't function right is the angle on the blade, and Mike laughed really hard and said, "Was it clean when you got it back from Jerry?" And I said yes, and he said whatever cleaner Jerry uses on the handle gets down that wiring harness, because Mike's had it happen to him before. So what he did last time was take the handle apart, disconnect the wiring harness, and just let it dry out for a couple days. So that's what we're gonna do and see if that's what it is. I just think it's funny. It makes me laugh. If you're new to the channel, Jerry is a retired operator that works for Mike. He is awesome. He is an extremely kind person. He is an awesome, probably the best dozer operator I've ever seen. He is a great operator, great guy, and we are lucky to have him. But it does make me laugh just a little bit that his clean habits are what has this harness going a little awry. Not a big deal though. We'll get her taken care of and we'll get back to work. So the first step, there are screws. Can you guys see the holes? 1, 2, and I bet there's a third one up top. So there's a little nut underneath here. We're gonna see what happens when we loosen it. If it lets me, maybe this comes off and falls over and I can do something then. Let's see if I can just hurt myself. Did it spin? Did it spin? It did spin. Oh, and look at that. So what are the odds? There you go. 4 screws. 5. No, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I need a Phillips screwdriver. Listen, that's a nifty trick, engineers. I slightly take back what I said about you, but seriously, you could have just put the screws on this side. It made it a whole lot easier. Okay. All right. Screwdriver. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. That's good. So here's what I'm going with. I can't find a wiring harness, but this is the ground for it. So the switch won't work with the ground disconnected. I'm just gonna kind of bundle this back together haphazardly to get through the day, and then put all these little fun parts in a Ziploc baggie, I suppose. And that should get us, that'll get us through the day until it dries out, which, you know, it's winter time. I don't know just how long that's gonna take. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty, huh? High-vis tape. It always makes things fun. Anyway, I got it just kind of held in there, all the spare parts in a little Ziploc baggie, and then the ground is all tucked away up in here on the back side, so hopefully that takes care of the problem. I can't imagine there's too much voltage that goes through that, but I don't want that ground to touch anything because I don't want to find out. Let's see if that fixed the problem. And you'll be able to tell, idle up just a little bit, and when we put the safety lever down, you shouldn't hear any change. I think we're good to go. What a bright, beautiful morning though, huh? Beautiful morning. Alright, let's move this stuff out of the way. Going pretty well through there. We're staying pretty shallow around this backside. That line doesn't have to be too crazy deep, but we are going to try to get some decent depth, 2 to 3 feet under this road to help protect it. It's not a high traffic road, it's just pickup trucks and that kind of thing to get up to the barn, and then a couple small 60 horse ag tractors up and down. So it's not a lot of traffic, but I'd like to get it a little bit deeper under the road. Maybe even find a sleeve to put on there, but electric panel, underground, meter base. Mike's not 100% sure where it's at. He thinks it's a straight shot, and you can see a little bit of a trench in there, so I'd say he's probably right. Either way, I'm gonna scooch uphill just a little bit to give myself a little bit of a barrier, and we'll keep on going. So this last section, I don't know, let's say 12 feet, maybe 11. I'm gonna hand dig that. It'll take a little longer, but replacing a water line that runs under there somewhere mysteriously, and that electric line that is somewhere in there would take quite a bit of time as well. So I think it's just gonna be a safe bet to hand dig from there to there. But before we do that, I wanna go ahead and get this pipe back in the ground and under the road at least. Like I said, later in the video, we're gonna go do that contract haul. We're gonna go haul that excavator for that other company, and I've got to get that moved at a very specific time today. So just in case I don't get as far on that as I want and I have to walk away from this, I at least want this section covered up and the drive drivable. I did manage to find this random piece of water line laying up in the barn. It's a 20-footer. It'll get across the road. I would rather have something Schedule 80, but that's just kind of the way it works. It's certainly better than nothing, and I think it'll do the job just fine for what we're using it for. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comment section though, won't you? I know you will, and that's fine. Daggone it. Well, the good news is we've got plenty. I don't know if I have this though. And I certainly don't have a flare tool. That turned out okay. If I've got time later today, I may blade that whole drive on the way up there. I don't know. We'll see how it gets. It could get wild, could get crazy, but anyway, sleeve there, sleeve on that side. Next step is I want to backfill this, but this stuff has so much of this rock. That is a pipe piercing rock if I've ever seen one, and there's a lot of this in here. So what I'm hoping to do, see if we can get one of those tractors up there running. And there's a pile of topsoil over there. Now it's not ideal, but topsoil will definitely fit around that pipe better than a pipe piercing rock will, I suppose. You know the theme for today's project, it's better than nothing. Let's see if we can get one of these tractors running. I've got to point out, I don't know what dealer said, yep, this is the perfect bucket for this machine. It is so awkward on here. This isn't Mike's machine, this is like a family farm thing. So the family got the tractor, and whatever dealer they used said, that is the bucket. I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, I think that dirt will work fine. I'll give you a close-up, but it's nothing more than topsoil. You can see that. That's going to go around that pipe much better without as much of a chance of something going wrong with it. So, given the season, we're going to set you up on time-lapse, and we're just going to smear our way out of here. I think that'll do just fine for what the goal is. Just kind of smeared in, trench backfilled. This will obviously settle out some in the future, but there's no way I'm running that machine weight-wise over that copper line. I just don't want to damage anything. And anything that does need dressed up here in the future, which it obviously will when it's dried out, can be done with the tractor that's on hand and some kind of implement behind it, so that's fine. We are now buried all the way over to here, which means we're to the next step. I don't know why I'm excited about it. It's the hand digging part, but you know, why not be happy about it? All right, so we got that dug over to the tank at the depth that Mike wanted. Good news is it's really dry trench. You know, we didn't have to deal with any mud this time of year, cold feet or anything like that, and really no rocks. It's smaller than 6 inches across. So all in all, it's done, and that feels pretty good. That smeared in just about as good as that side did. I want to get it cleaned up a little bit more. We still have to do a little shovel work on that end. We still have to fix that fitting on that end. But Mike said I need to be there by 1. Picking everything up as we go here. Mike said I need to be there by 1 to pick up that excavator, and it is 12:30, so I've got to go do that. Hopefully that goes smooth. You guys are going to know. You're going to come along with me while we do it. And we'll come back and tidy up the loose ends on this thing. All right. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna let that run for just a minute. I'll head over to the market, grab myself a sandwich for the road. It is lunchtime after all, and then we'll get to see what we're going to pick up. Waters and stuff too, and a wrap and a cookie. And we should be good to go. to road names, but always spot on when it comes to landmarks. I think we just kind of noticed the same things on the side of the road. Anyway, today's landmark is the football field, which we all know where the football field is at in town. So we are looking for an excavator somewhere near the football field. And that's what we got to work with. Let's see what we can find here. There is the Almighty High School football field. To your right, we are looking for an excavator. Oh look, here's a good sign. You see the dirt on the road? That's a good sign right there. I bet we're gonna take a left. Look how low that cable line is. I don't know if we're gonna get out that side. There he is, cleaning the tracks. There you go. The landmark, some mud on the street. We got her, bud. We got her. And a dirty windshield to boot. What are you gonna do? Chilly out there. Feels a lot better in here, that is for sure. By the way, how's this? Feels a little off, but I'm sure it'll be fun. We are chained down, flags on, signs on, looking real good. And we're actually going to be doing some really pretty driving on some county roads. I'm going to get out of town, and we get on those roads, I'll be sure to throw you somewhere so you guys can watch. Because it's actually a really nice drive to where we're headed. Catch you in a little bit. Well, I mean like right now. The next thing. cadence. Let's give you a quick tour of this thing. I've never been in one. Whacker Newson, he rented, I guess, Franklin equipment, ET145. Maybe I'll throw some stats up here somewhere on that. But let's give you a quick tour while we run it up to where he's going. Yes, the inside's a little dirty. That's not what we're looking at. But, check out the display. Look how sharp that rear view camera is. Check this out. You can switch between controls at the touch of a button. Maybe. Maybe you have to hold the button. I don't know. I'm assuming maybe. Anyway, let's see. I gotta know how this thing feels. Bad if I just took a big old scoop out of his driveway. Tell you what, oops, man, that is tippy, but not bad. I mean, not for what it is, a compact machine like this. Man, that thing is, ooh, I don't know. I gotta try one of these. I need to, how's that thumb speed? Does it have a thumb? I mean, it's got the thumb. Where's that? Yeah. I'm pretty impressed. Look at the blade controls over here. That's pretty nice. What do we got? Oh gosh. Man. Yeah, I tell you what. I don't know. It's got side boom on it, which is pretty sweet. That thing's stout too. I don't know. I always like getting in different machines I've never been in. I was just kind of curious. That seemed pretty smooth. Seems pretty quick too. I'd just be curious to dig some dirt with it, see how it does. Chris always says, the guy we moved it for, he says it feels like it has a lot of power, but I'd just be curious what that exactly means. I'd love to put a bucket in dirt someday. Who knows? You never know. So Mike came down. Look at that sunset in the background. Gorgeous. It is 2:30. So Mike came down and he actually went ahead and reflared that, and I put that fitting back on while I was hauling that, and he's going to show us.
So this is not like really professional, but this is the gist of it. So first you got to have a clean cut, then you got to take this tool. It's extremely dull. You got to clean that out a little bit, otherwise whenever you go to flare it, it'll want to fold over on top of itself. So if you have most people have these in a drill, and it's just like
is that right? Is that the sound it makes?
Yeah,
too,
it sounds just like a duck when you do it.
They're gonna want to get a new drill.
I'm not going all out on this because we're in a hurry, but then you take this little clamp tool thing here. This is 1/2 inch copper, and you want approximately, all right, so one side of this, see how that side's got a bevel in it? Mm-hmm. The other side don't? Mm-hmm. So that's the side you want a bevel to, or the side you want to flare to. So 1/4 to 3/8 sticking out somewhere in that neighborhood. Tighten her down. And then this here is your flaring tool. It clamps on the bar like so. Now, very important, if you're doing this over there, you need to make sure the nut slid on here first.
That is good advice.
We don't have a nut, so we don't have to worry about that. So that thing goes down there like so. I may have a little bit of too much pipe sticking out, but for demonstration purposes, it'll work. That's about right. Hey, that looks pretty good.
Whenever you're surprised something turns out well.
I know, it scares me too. There it is, flared in. It's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but that's for low pressure stuff. You can't do high pressure stuff.
Pretty simple. So that's what he did on that end. You guys can see where it's kinked right there. Whenever they kink like that,
yeah, it's hard to get them.
They're just gonna
break.
They're just gonna do that real quick.
But you got to use your imagination on this. But that nut is back here. The fitting on this side has the reverse flare on it. So whenever you go tighten that nut down, it compresses those two together right there. It's just that simple, Kleeman. It's just that simple.
That should have been a channel. That could be your third channel.
Just that simple?
It's just that simple.
I think that should be followed with a fail.
All right, so the only thing I've got left is a little bit of shovel work around that copper pipe. Oh, I should have said we. Look at him go. He's doing good. Cheer him on, folks. Cheer him on.
You gonna pay me now? Is that how this works?
When's the last time you actually gave me real money?
Well, that's your own fault. But
what is that?
I don't know yet. It's a spaceship attached to my arm.
Yeah.
It's been making all kinds of... I don't know if it's massaging me or trying to tell me I'm in trouble.
You're going to regret having that.
I think I am.
So that's the only thing we got left. Just do a little bit of shovel work. I'm going to walk over here because the shovel's over there. And then this is pretty much done. We may come back sometime when it dries out in the future and clean it up. We may not. Who knows? I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.